use yeast. But when you start, you just sprinkle it on the surface of the water, give it 3 to 5 minutes just to start rehydrating a little bit. We're talking about using yeast in breads. You can smell it already, right? Can you smell it? So if you're using fresh yeast, which you can also use, you should be able to buy that, like a cake yeast, you would want to use twice as much. Oh, because this is very concentrated individual cells, the yeast cake has a lot of nutrient in there as well, so it's not as populated with cells as this is, if that makes sense. So double. So if I'm using 4 ounces here, you'd want to use 8 ounces of fresh yeast, because a lot of what the component of that cake is nutrient, food, and moisture. If you have 1 billion cells in this 4 ounces, if you have 4 ounces of cake, maybe it's 500 million cells. So you want to, your ratio of cells to final bread product is important. Otherwise, you're going to stress your yeast out, and you'll get off flavors. And yeah, we could have a whole conversation about yeast. Okay, so now I'm going to whisk it up. Now that it's kind of hydrated and going, whisk it up. Get everybody excited in the bath. And these guys are coming back to life now. They're going to work for us. They're going to work hard. What's that?
Like, where do you get yeast from?
Oh, Safeway.
No, like,
Fresh?
yeah, producing it.
Like, where does it come from?
Oh, they have factories. They have factories that actually produce yeast. Fleischmann's factories.
But is it like
Is a flour
a
product?
natural
It's in your
occurring
eyebrows
thing?
right now.
Gross.
There's yeast everywhere. All of us have yeast all around us.
Ew. Ew.
When you do like a wild brew, like a wild home brew or farmhouse ale, they're capturing yeast from the farm and using that to ferment their
How?
wort.
They can't just like pull
Open
it out
air.
of the air.
Right out of the
What?
air. Right out of the air.
What?
It's all around us. Yeast is everywhere. All right, so you can see how foamy it's
I'm
getting.
gonna go home and take a really hot
You want to
shower.
take a peek in there. It's really starting to come. They're starting to foam up. Now you can see it bubbling. They're alive. It's coming to life.
Did you know
It's
there's
actually moving around in there.
bugs and stuff like little single-celled organisms that crawl out of like our skin and our eyes and stuff.
All right, then we're going to add all of our liquid ingredients. So that includes butter. And it's just warm butter. Eggs. And now we're going to add everything, the dry ingredients. Then comes the bread flour. Right on top. No need to get fancy. Sugar.
Tasting.
Always tasty.
Make sure it's not salt.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to put the salt. I wanted to do this on purpose. And put the salt in last. Okay, on top. And the reason why is you'll see some recipes. Oh, don't add the salt. Salt kills yeast. Like you'll actually see that now. Salt does not kill yeast. It's not like malicious. But what happens is salt is hygroscopic, so it will draw water out of things. That's the natural property of it. So you want to minimize the direct contact of the salt with the yeast so that the yeast can hydrate properly, right? You don't want a slightly dehydrated yeast working hard because we're going to be like, you want to be like, oh, fully pumped up. There you go. Then close this up. Lock it. I'm going to put it on mix now, and we'll start it. So what I'm doing right now is just bringing the dough together. We're checking for hydration now. Okay. So we've bloomed the yeast, we fed it a little bit, we added our liquid, then we added all our dry, salt on top. Now we're combining to check for hydration. We're looking for a certain texture. And this is where it really experience pays to know what to look for. Because once we get to the right hydration, we're going to knead the dough. Develop the gluten in there for about 7 minutes, just like the pasta dough. Right? So we're going to go back and use some of our knowledge of gluten development. 7 minutes seems to be a really good amount of time to develop the dough, and it should sound like this in there. It's like a lame applause. It's like that there.
Are we talking about kneading it?
We're gonna need it in here. Yeah, I don't really feel like it right now.
That's fair.
That's why we have an $8,000 mixer here.
Are you kidding?
No.
How much are the big, like, 80-quart ones?
Oh yeah, 20,000, 24,000. But you buy one,
And then you're
right? Like if you go to Fratelli's downtown, you see the big 80-quart mixer and there's all the stickers all over it.
Oh, no.
Or maybe it's a 120-quart mixer. I can't remember yet. But you buy one of those, and then you make pizza for like years. Cheers. Hi, Abby. Welcome. How's your family? Are they watching? Are they watching? All right. Well, come on to class. You're a little bit late. How's your uniform? You just woke up, right?
Where is she?
She's in, where is she?
Missouri.
Missouri. Missouri. No, don't say Missouri. Yeah, no, don't say that. All right. So, Connie, can we get some all-purpose flour, please?
Aggressive.
Can you get me like a nice bowl of all-purpose flour? About half. For what?
Currently making bread. So your Skype her in. She like didn't want to be here, or she wanted to know what we were gonna do.
All right. So now I wanted to show you this. So look at the dough. What do you notice?
Kind of gooey. It's
Very wet, right? So it's too loose. So you wanna. It's sometimes the dough is too loose. Sometimes the dough is too tight. You want to find that Goldilocks zone, and what it looks like is the weird applause. That's what it'll sound like when we get it to the right temperature. Okay? This is the tickle a tarantula of dough. Grazie. So now what you do when it's wet like this is you sprinkle in a little bit of flour like that. And you want to go a little bit at a time. Close. Start. Because you can go too far. Not too far off.
Do they make like small ones, like the size you have in your home, or they only make the like?
Yeah, there's one over there. I think you have one underneath your station too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so still a little wet, right? So we're going to put in a little bit. We're going to sanger in a little bit more. Sanger just means to sprinkle.
So flour to tighten it, what would you use to loosen it? Oil?
You already know.
Water?
Water. Sometimes it shoots flour out, so it's going to. You hear the weird applause? That's kind of the. I know these are weird, but they are good memory kind of images. That's kind of when you teach, you want to find something that people remember. Get the weird applause, right? You won't forget that. At graduation, you're going to be applauding like weird applause. Okay, still a little loose, right? But getting there. Everybody poke it. How soft that is. And
Whoa.
so we're very close.
Oh, it's nice and warm.
Yeah. It's actually alive in there.
Yeah.
Just poke. They're having a party.
And
in
why
there.
would you say that?
Just poke them.
So then how do, let's say, vegans feel about it since it is alive and we eat?
Vegans shouldn't eat this. Well, I don't know because these
I
are.
don't think they would care about yeast.
I mean, yeast is it's an organism.
Right, but it's
not an
like,
animal.
And it's everywhere. It's not like a species we have to protect or anything. Like it's just
I don't know.
there.
That'd be a good question. Okay, so close, so close.
But they wouldn't want the butter though. They're vegan.
Or the eggs.
That's true.
But yeah. But you can absolutely make lean dough. I mean, you don't need. You can. There's so many lean doughs you can make out there. All right, I think we're there. So it'll start to. Now we're gonna do this for 7 minutes. You hear the weird applause? Isn't it what it sounds like? It's like.
This thing's aggressive.
What's that?
This thing is aggressive.
It's rocking. Yeah, when the Hobart's rocking. And it's locked down too. I think, yeah, they're all locked down.
Oh. right? Imagine if it wasn't.
Oh man. Well, the big ones are a little bit heavier,
Yeah.
like the 120 quart, 80 quart ones.